The merchandise hung in each alley with great care, tempting each customer passing by there. The children kept pointing out more toys they wanted for being such good Christmas boys. The mom had no credit and dad had no cash, but this never stopped them at all on the path. The owner was thrilled and called out again.
Just one day before Christmas, keep shopping, my friend.
Shoppers, may I have your attention, please? For your final day of Christmas shopping here at Harris Department Store, we have a special musical treat. In the toy department, we have a children's choir from the River's Edge Church. Stop on by and listen as they recreate the manger scene with inspiring holiday music. Would you welcome them to Harris Department Store?
Good. You're all packed up. Kids, don't forget to tell your parents that Harris will be open at 10 p.m. tonight. Miss O'Reilly, please escort our guests somewhere else.
Where are we gonna go?
We plan to sing for hours and it's only noon.
We are planning on singing at the store all day. We have no place to go.
Let me see. I know. Tonight they're having a party, a Christmas party at the Lighthouse Mission. I've been helping them, and I know they don't have any special music. Hey, would you guys be willing to come with me and help us out?
Yeah!
Oh, good.
How are we gonna get this?
Aren't we supposed to be wise men? Let's figure this out.
We can take camels. We don't have camels. We're not a wise guy.
Or, since it's only down the block,
We can just walk.
okay, wise guys, since you've seen the light, lead us to the Lighthouse Mission.
Let the wise guys look at us. Across the I want to be wise too. And all I can do. So when I will follow you. Wherever you lead me, I'll gladly go. Wherever you call me, your voice I'll know. Wherever your light shines, the path I'll see. For I know you're watching over me. The wise eyes, those mad eyes, who saw the star and travels from afar. I wanna be wise too, and always with you. Won't be my guidance until I have you. Wherever you lead me, I'll gladly go. Wherever you call me, your voice I'll know. Wherever your light shines, the path I'll see. For I know you're watching over me. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Like those wise guys, like those mad guys. I wanna be walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Walking, walking, walking in the light. Like those wise guys, like those mad guys. I wanna be walking, walking, walking in the light. I wanna be walking, walking, walking in the light. I wanna be walking, walking, walking in the light.
Quiet down, Betsy. It's only me. Hi, Miss Ellie. Betsy.
Well, Miss O'Reilly. Shh, Betsy, you'll scare them off. It sure is nice to see you here so early. And who do you have with you on this fine Christmas Eve?
I want you to meet my new friends. This is the children's choir from the Rivers Edge Church. Kids, this is Miss Ellie.
Well, hello. Betsy and I, we welcome you to the Lighthouse Mission.
Mrs. Ellie, they've offered to help us out tonight and to sing at our party. And look, they've even got their own manger scene.
Oh, well, I can see that. You must be Mary and Joseph. And you're a shepherd, right? And you three, you must be the wise men. Oh, how Betsy and I, we love those wise men. They were so, well, wise.
Really? I thought all they did was ride around on camels.
Oh, no. They wanted to find their king. So they packed up and left everything behind them and followed the star.
Kind of like walking in the light, right?
That's right. And so they searched and searched for the Jesus, our Savior and King. His love and kindness, all the reason we sing. Always for others, the people we meet. We'll lead them to Jesus by believing their needs. Always for you and the blessings on. The last will be first in the kingdom of God. Jesus, then others, and then there's you. A secret one, trouble life too. Jesus, then others, and then there's you. Jesus, bless me in all that you do.
I got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart. Down in my heart. I got that joy, 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 joy down in my heart. Down in my heart to stay.
You go!
Jesus, our Savior and King. His love and kindness are the reason we sing. Always for others, the people we meet. We'll lead them to Jesus by meeting their needs. Always for you and the blessings on. The last shall be first in the kingdom of God. Jesus and others, and then there's you. The secret chord, joyful attitude. Jesus and others, and then there's you. To have Jesus first in all that you do. Jesus and others, and then there's you. The secret chord, joyful attitude. Jesus and others, and then there's you. To have Jesus first in all that we do. To have Jesus first in all that we do. To have Jesus first in all that we do. Let's go,
So, Riley, may I have a word with you, please? Look, the store is full of last-minute shoppers with their credit cards in hand. Please walk to the store. Okay? I mean, it's like, I need you back in 5 minutes, okay? Turn your cell phone on, because time is money. I'm trying to reach you.
Welcome to the lighthouse. I'm Miss Ellie, and this ferocious guard dog is my Betsy. She's tiny, but mighty.
Yes, well, I'm Mr. Herod of Herod Department Store.
Oh, well, wasn't that interesting? Did you know there's a Herod in the Christmas story, too?
No.
Children, did you know there's a Herod?
yes!
Now, Betsy, we're nice to everyone, even Herods.
Oh, that's nice. Mr. Riley, 5 minutes, I need you back at the store in 5 minutes.
Not a wise man, that Herod. Not a wise man!
Well, remember, they wanted to find their king, and so they followed the light of the star. And when they found the baby Jesus, God's gift to us,
They were filled with joy.
Oh, I know what happens. They
We have come to meet you, humbly bow before you. We have come to seek your face. We have come to thank you, worship and adore you. We have come to give you praise.
For you have come to save us, born to dwell among us. You have come from God above. You have come to free us, rescue and redeem us. You have come to show us love. We bow down in your holy presence. We lift our voices in our song of praise. Emmanuel has come to live among us. Emmanuel has come to earth to light the way.
Like the wise men, when we enter into the
presence of Jesus, we humbly bow our hearts and lives in worship to our Savior and our King.
We bow down in your holy presence. We lift our voices in our song of praise. Emmanuel has come to live among us. Emmanuel has come to earth to light the way. Emmanuel has come to earth to light the
Hello? Oh, Mr. Herod. Yes, sir. No. No, sir. Uh-huh. Oh, no. No Christmas bonus? Well, of course, sir. No, I understand. Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
What happened, Miss O'Reilly?
Well, I didn't get back to the store in time, and I'm not going to get my Christmas bonus. Oh, it's okay, really. It's just that I was going to use that bonus to buy a gift for tonight's party for the mission.
Well, honey, aren't you a sweetie? You were willing to use your Christmas bonus here? You've got a heart of gold, Miss O'Reilly. Really, a heart of gold. That's right. And we don't need a Christmas bonus to buy this gift. What God would really like from each of us is a pure heart.
I too often think of pleasing only me, and my actions are really full of greed. Now I can't do it on my own, Lord, let your love hold. Remove from me this heart of stone. Refine till all that's left is gold.
Excuse me, Miss Ellie. I don't mean to disturb you, but I need to know what type of dinner shirt tonight. I want the turkey to be perfect for our guests.
Oh, hi, Emerald.
I got some around here.
It sure does. And look at this. Betsy's licking her lips. Friends, this is Emerald. He's been cooking for the Christmas party for the past 10 years. Let's plan on about 7 o'clock for dinner, if we can wait that long.
Emerald, do you know what your cooking reminds me of?
Turkey, I hope.
It reminds me of the second gift that the wise men brought Jesus, incense. And just like your wonderful food, Emerald, the incense that they offered had a sweet, sweet smell that filled the whole room.
Well, that's wonderful. I'm praying that everyone would enjoy the meal I offer them tonight.
my point, Emerald. We can offer the Lord our prayers and our praise. And the Bible says that our prayers are like a sweet incense to the Lord.
Hey, well, that's another gift we can offer Jesus here at the mission. Just like the wise men bringing incense, we can offer God our prayers and our praise.
Well, come on, everybody. Let's sing our praises to the King.
Let my prayers be a fragrance offering. Let my life give you glory when I sing. May my praise rise like incense to your throne and be a sweet, sweet gift for you alone. Let my thoughts be pleasing in your sight. Let my words change darkness into light. May my heart be a place you call your home and be a sweet, sweet gift for you alone. I send my praises up and your blessings go down. Spending time with you always turns my life around. And I will sing of you rising up through the sky. One day I'll rise to meet you and bow before your throne on high. Let my prayers be a fragrance offering. Let my life give you glory when I sing. May my praise rise like incense to your throne and be a sweet, sweet gift for you alone. My praises up and your blessings go down. Spending time with you always turns my life around. And like a sweet perfume rising up to the sky. One day I'll rise to meet you and bow before your throne on high. For we are to God the aroma of Christ, and to the world we are the fragrance of life. For we are to God the aroma of Christ, and to the world we are the fragrance of life. I send my praises up and your blessings go down. Spending time with you always turns my life around. And like a sweet perfume rising up through the sky. One day I'll rise to meet you and bow before your throne on high. Let my prayers be a fragrance offering.
I've got to sit down and tap my breath. It sure is nice having you all here on this Christmas Eve.
Emerald? Oh, hi, Emerald. Is there anything that we can help you with in the kitchen?
Everything is pretty much under control. I started this morning by praying to the Lord, and bam! Now I'm doing it all for a burger.
Well, that's terrific.
You don't even look upset, Miss O'Reilly.
Well, there was a time when things like this could have really ruined my day and taken all my joy away. But I've learned to live differently. I've learned to forgive. Well, I'm not here to please myself. I'm here to please Jesus.
Boys and girls, I was wondering, who knows what the wise men's third gift was?
I know it's a spice called myrrh.
That's right! It was a burial spice. And I think we can learn something from this gift too. Just like Miss O'Reilly, you and I are here to live for Jesus. And we can bring him great delight when we are willing to lay down our own wants and needs and choose instead to live for Jesus.
Hey, I know. I got an idea just how we can put this gift into practice. Come on, gang. Follow me.
I'm trying to live for Jesus. I want to give myself to Him, and the life that He gives will be mine if I have time to live. 'Cause I'm trying to
store, and I still haven't helped my mother decorate. And on top of that, my briefcase is missing. Has anyone seen it?
Well, you came in over here, and then you...
Oh, thank you, Betsy. Here it is, right where you left it.
Well, thank you. I hope I haven't interrupted you.
Well, actually, we just got back. We decorated this charming little house on Elm Street, and that woman was so grateful. I don't know about you, but it sure is better to give than to receive. Right, children?
Yes!
Well, I've got to go. Wait, who did you guys go decorate on Elm Street?
Well,
Was that house 314 Elm Street?
well, I'm not sure. It was Miss O'Reilly's idea, after all. Oh, look! Our guests are coming. Welcome to the Lighthouse Mission. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas!
Take a seat. It's almost time to begin. Children, are you ready?
Yes!
Miss O'Reilly, did you help decorate my mother's house? Well, why would you be so kind to my mother and to me?
Mr. Herod, it's simple. When I think about God's gift to me, I want to help others. It's really my gift to my King.
Baby Jesus, born in Bethlehem. Baby Jesus, born to save all men. I have come to crown you King. I give my all, my everything. How foolish I would be to turn away. For wise men
sorry. I guess the smallest package is that of one wrapped up in themselves.
We're just glad that you made it here tonight.
So am I, so am I. How foolish I would be to turn away when wise men still follow you today. Bravo, bravo. I've got to have you sing at Harris next year. Miss O'Reilly, I want you to have that Christmas bonus after it.
Oh, good, because she was going to use that money to buy gifts.
What?
She was gonna buy a gift for all the kids here tonight.
Oh, really? Miss O'Reilly, you're going to do that? Oh, wait one minute. Ernie, how many bikes and how many scooters do we have? Okay. And how many dolls do we have?
Wait,
Good.
what's going on here?
Miss O'Reilly, I just figured out what Christmas is all about. Ernie, pack them up and get them down to the White House mission. Coming through the front door, make a right, and Ernie, just meet me at the main.
Everybody give them a round of applause one more time. You did such a good job. I am so proud of each and every one of you. Awesome job. But you know, the whole story, what they're talking about, the wise men, you know, everything that's in the Bible is related to our life today. If we look at all the stories in the Bible, you'll see ordinary people, you know, inserted into extraordinary stories. And each and every time we look at how they walked through it and how they responded to certain things, we learn from it, right? How wonderful is it that these wise men were able to be a part of the Christmas story? That they lived in a moment in time when God led them supernaturally to a place to have an encounter with Jesus Christ. But do you know that God still works that way today? He still divinely leads people to be in a certain place at a certain time to be a part of a great story. And I don't know how you got here today. I don't know if it came from a flyer or an invite from a friend or you come out for the play. But make no mistake about it, you're here today because God has divinely brought you here. And He's brought you here because of His great love for you. And just as these wise men came and they sought out God, what's amazing about it is one of the first things the wise men did is they made a mistake. Did you ever catch that in the story? You remember where they went first to look for baby Jesus? They went to a palace, right? Because they assumed that if there was a king to be born, he'd be born where? In a palace. So when they came to Jerusalem, they went into Herod's palace and said, hey, we're looking for the new king. And Herod's like, what new king? I'm the king here. And I didn't just have a baby boy. What king are you talking about? And I thought, isn't that so much like us? That even we, in all of our intellect, and all of in our education, all the stuff that we strive after in our society, but still we make some of the most basic assumptions and mistakes. And we assume that riches is going to bring us joy. We assume that a certain relationship's going to bring us joy. We assume that a certain career is going to bring us the joy. Now, all those are great to have. We should pursue all those things, but we assume that it's going to bring us the joy that we're talking about that the Lord gives. And nothing compares to that joy. You can have a great job and it'll bring you happiness. There's no joke. There's no doubt about it. If you have more money in the account, life is a little easier. All those sort of things. And if you have a great relationship, and that makes life easier. But listen, none of those things bring you what Jesus can bring you, the joy that only can come from Him. It's an inner kind of a joy that He gives. It surpasses everything else. But you know what I like about this story is once they realized that they had made a wrong assumption about life, they went out and they had to refocus. And they looked at heaven again. They said, now where was that star again? Where was the Lord leading me? And they begin to follow this star. And they followed this star. And many of you, you know how it is. We chase after certain things and then we have to get a refocus. We take an inventory. And then we find ourselves brought to a place of decision. These guys followed this star. They knocked on the door of a house that didn't seem like the right kind of house. It was a modest house, a humble house. They knocked on the door and this young couple comes and answers the door. Boy, they sure didn't look like kingly parents. They looked like just ordinary people. But the minute they walked into that place, all of a sudden, they realized that they were in the presence of a king. And these three wise men, who of stature and importance, did something very amazing. They bowed down. They humbled themselves and bowed down. Listen, that's where it all begins. The transformed life begins at that very moment when you realize that you're in the presence of a king and you simply bow down. We bow down in our hearts. We bow down before Him. Listen, that's